Hello my friends and welcome to another watercolor tutorial. Today's is inspired by I'm assuming this is in German, so I'm going to try to pronounce it. Meine.kreativen.seiten. I don't know, I can't say it. Anyway, I'll put it in the description like I always do. And it is gonna be it could be a Christmas card if you want it to be, but it's a bunch of cute little houses. Very German looking houses. Whether they look German when I paint them is yet to be determined. But what I'm doing first is drawing them because that will aid us, obviously. So they're just a bunch of like little rectangles essentially. And you can just follow what I'm doing. Yeah. Actually, that one, I don't like how that one looks. Should have started with the rectangle. So yeah, I can't believe I'm already painting Christmas tutorials. That is kind of crazy because it is May when I'm painting. So yeah, there's not really much for me to say here. Just follow along with my strange sketching. The original painting has 5 houses. I'm gonna make it symmetrical by like keeping the width the same, but I am going to make 4 houses instead. It's gonna look something like this, and there's gonna be some trees in the background, but we can add those in later if we wish. So this should be a fairly easy painting. We are going to use a marker at the end to kind of help us define a bunch of things. I'm not going to bother with a tiny paintbrush. Well, maybe I am. We'll see. We'll see how I feel. But I'm going to just go from left to right because that is easiest. Just doing a quick erase here so that it's not as dark, although it doesn't matter because we're going to be drawing over it anyway. So these are very light colored houses with very cute roofs. Let's see, I'm going to start with this kind of eggshell color that I have here, but I don't like that. I don't like that color. I'm going to mix it. Ooh, I like it. Eggshell mixed with non-eggshell green makes a very fun color. I just want to water it down because these ones are super light. Like they're not. Okay, I already made a mistake. Oh well. I think it would be easier if I had kind of painted the doors and stuff first, but that's okay. We can figure that out later. So the first one's going to be green. My next one's going to be like I think it's like a crazy watered down orange. Like I'll do one little swipe like that, rinse my brush so that there's just water on it, and that is still too bright. So yeah, oops, that's okay. We'll paint a door there after. We're just filling in our rectangles, our houses. We're doing those first, and then we'll do all the little details, the roofs, the windows, the doors. And okay, I'm gonna do another green one. Way too bright. At least it'll make painting the doors and windows over a lot easier. Like that. And then the last one's gonna be yellow. Okay. So let me just think here real quick. Can we do anything before we let this dry that'll help speed things along? We can paint, like what I should have done is painted this a little bit higher because there's a little cute sidewalk that kind of ties this all together. I'm still gonna try and include it. I might regret that decision. But so kind of goes all the way across. It's gonna start doing it now. Oh my gosh, it didn't do it again. Sorry. The reason our laundry machine does this thing where when it spins, it kind of throws the laundry machine around because there's something wrong with the balance part of it. And usually I do the laundry, but my husband's out there. And so I was just letting him know, like, oh, it's gonna start doing that thing, so you have to go turn it off. But it didn't do it again. It's the second time. Maybe it fixed itself. We're gonna go over this sidewalk later with a marker or a fine tip paintbrush. We will see how I feel and how you feel at the end of it. What now? Okay, I'm gonna let this dry and then we'll do something. It was a very short blow drying session because I used very light colors, so it didn't take much to dry it. So we're gonna do the roofs. The ones that are just like a triangle, so these two are just going to be this dark brown. And then the trapezoid looking ones are gonna be a little lighter, like a little bit more orange. So like so. We're gonna go in later and add a little bit of white with acrylic paint to make it look a little more three-dimensional, because right now it's a bit flat. I should not have done that second little swipe, but what are you gonna do? Okay, so now we can do the trapezoid looking roofs, and those are going to be a little more orange like I said. So I'm going to take orange, I'm going to mix it with my brown, so it's like an orange brown, and then we can, I'm gonna use a bigger brush for this because that would just take way too long. Boop. And these ones, these trapezoid looking ones, they're supposed to have these like shingles coming off of them a little bit. I kind of overdid it a tad. Okay. And then I'm gonna add a little bit of black shading, like the top will have a little bit of black. I still have to add a chimney. This is an awfully complicated painting for being so simple looking. Because, you know, you could just paint everything one color and it'd be super flat looking, and if you're okay with that, then that's great. But I don't think that would look very nice in the thumbnail. I don't think too many people would be interested in watching this tutorial or painting it if I didn't add a little bit extra pizzazz. So same thing with this one, little shingles coming off. And with this one, I kind of painted it way too dark. So I'm just gonna lift off some of the paint, and then it basically has shading built in to it. Kind of wish I did that here too. But now I have to re-wet the whole thing or it will cauliflower. Okay. Where are we in our little adventure? Okay, so now I have to paint the roofs, sorry, the chimneys. So this one will have a chimney. Oops. And this one will have a little chimney. Okay, and the next thing I want to do is paint on the doors and the little steps. So I'm going to take my brown and I'm going to add gray to it. And so I'm going to have a like a rectangle that overlaps my house a little bit. And we will later define this. It's way too dark though, I should have lightened that a tad. I'll do this, I'm not gonna play around with the colors, I say that now, that might change, but I think I might just make them all the same. This one's just, it's the same colors, just I watered it down. For the steps. And this one has a cute door frame, the same color, that extends upwards like that. And paint in the door. And this one has a little step as well. This one will have a darker frame. Like so. And then for our last one here, same thing. Actually, I kind of wish I left this one without like an outline of the door because all of these have it, so that's okay. So now what? Now I want to do the windows. So I'm going to be using acrylic paint to help me with this, but the first part of it, we have to do the little squares in the window. So I'm using navy blue, apart from some of them that are going to be lit up, so they're going to be yellow. So in this one, I'm going to have 4 windows. And I mean, we could paint like squares, or we could just paint one square and then do a cross with white acrylic paint. I'm going to do a modification. So I'm going to paint the square, but then I'm only going to paint the corners, so it'll be easier for the white acrylic paint to stand out when we go over it. Does that make sense? It'll make sense when I show you the acrylic paint later on, but I think this is the easiest way to do it, because then you sort of keep all the squares the same size. You could also just fill the whole thing in with blue and then go over the white acrylic paint with white acrylic paint, but my paint is not very opaque, so that's why I'm trying to like give it a little help by not painting it. So this one is gonna have one window yellow. I'll show you in a moment. But I'll do the yellow ones at the end all together. It's nice to change things up and paint something different once in a while, because I'm so used to doing landscapes. And this is just a fun change. And it's not like it does require detail work. So, you know, you're concentrating on something because it requires fine detail work, but it's very easy to do. It's not a difficult painting. So my 2 windows a little bit higher are going to be more rectangular. Whoops, these are not very even. No, I was gonna make one of them yellow. Oh well. I'll make both of them yellow on this one then. Okay, so we're gonna switch gears now, pick up some yellow, and do exactly the same thing in the places where the windows are missing. I'm just gonna fill the yellow ones in completely because the yellow will be able to, or the white acrylic paint will be able to go through the yellow, I hope. I might have to do like 2 layers. Okay. So by this time, the door frames should have dried, so we can add the doors in. So the door of my greenhouse is gonna be like this nude color. So I'm just gonna paint that in. It's not a very rectangular door. And then the other ones are gonna be maroon mixed with brown, something like that. And they're gonna be, I'm gonna twist this to the side because I want to paint them like this. And then this one. Like this. Oh no, what did I do? This one's a bit ruined. I think it's because it was the windows were still wet, but that's okay. We can rectify that with the marker at the end, hopefully. Okay. So another thing that I would like to do is put some wreaths on these houses. Some beautiful green wreaths. So one wreath will be on the door here. One wreath will be on the house here. And you can sort of dot it to create some texture. So it's not just like a perfect circle. I have another one here, albeit small. And I'm gonna have another one at the top of my house here. Oh, the other thing I want to do with the green is add some pines in the background, because that's what's really going to make this a little bit more like festive for the season. Because right now it just looks like a bunch of random houses. So I'm going in and I'm going to try to be very careful to not paint over these houses, because these pines have to be kind of in the background. And then I'll have like a brown stick line coming down for the stump of the tree. I'm gonna have a smaller one in here. And I'm going to have another one here. Okay, so this isn't looking too bad. It is not looking too bad. You know, when you start a painting, you don't always know, or at least I don't. So I'm gonna go over these pines really quickly, just one more time, super roughly with a darker green, maybe some black mixed into the green, just to give it a bit of texture, a bit of depth. I don't even know if I'm using the right terminology, but it looks better when you add kind of shading and two colors and whatnot. And of course we can't forget brown for the what do you call this thing? The trunk of the tree. This one is hidden behind the house. Okay, we're getting somewhere here. What do we have to do now? Is there anything else I have to do here? I am gonna take white acrylic paint and just dab the trees. Yeah, dab the trees. A bit of the white. I don't think that made any difference, honestly. But, well, I'll speckle some at the end if I remember. I'm taking red and just adding some dots on the wreaths to make them a little bit more festive. And okay, I think we are at a point where we can do our windows. Whoops, I painted the wrong side. Okay, hold on. Okay, so I'm gonna take my white acrylic paint, and this is where I have to be careful, because I'm going to paint, like I'm gonna define the windows a lot better than they are right now. So we're doing a cross in between each one. This is what I was referring to. And also around each one, through and around. Don't forget the yellow. very enjoyable. I know I'm not talking very much. I'm kind of lost in thought, but you know, just taking time to do all these tiny little details, it is very enjoyable because the final product looks like you really put some effort into it. It's such a small, simple looking painting, but it does require quite a bit of patience and work to do all the little tiny details. Each one of these is also, like, the window itself is outlined in white, but I feel like that might be excessive. Yeah, that might be a little excessive. Although, I understand why. I'll go over it. Like I said, we're going to be using a marker at the end or a pen. Now, I said at the beginning we were gonna, oh, right, it was to, I'm gonna use white acrylic paint. I know I'm jumping a bit here, but just to add a bit of highlight to the roof on this one as well. I'm contemplating, do I rim all of the windows with the white, or do I just stop with the few that I have? Because it is, you know, I was just talking about, oh, how nice it is to take time to do all the details, but man, there are a lot of windows. And then we have to line them again with marker. Okay. So let's see here. I am not going to do this with paint. If I did it with paint, it would take me so long. So I have a fine tip marker here. And what I'm going to do is rim like most of this painting with the marker. So every little chimney, every roof, and I mean, this is going to be time consuming too. So you can choose what you want to define. You don't have to do every single shingle like I'm doing right now. In hindsight, I probably would not have done every single one because it looks a little bit overpowering. Then, of course, we're doing the house itself, the step, the door. I wish I had an even finer one. Now I am tempted to go back and use paint. Because the marker that I have is a bit thick. So yeah, you can go and choose what you want lined with the marker. I don't know if I'm gonna do as much as I thought I was going to. Like, I think it would have looked nice without rimming the houses, but oh well, it is what it is. What else did I want to do here? I'm debating on whether to do the windows or not. But the other thing is this sidewalk. So each one of these sidewalk pieces is supposed to be separated, and this I should have done with gray watercolor, but shoulda, coulda, woulda. And the top. Should we do the windows, guys? Let me do one. No, I don't think we should do the windows. I should have not done that one. I think they look fine as they are. So the last thing I'm gonna do, like I said, I'm gonna add a bit of snow to this. So I'm taking my white acrylic paint, watering it down, and then tapping against a brush. That was a bit too much, I think. Like right here particularly, a bit too much. Let me see if I can just add a little bit of blue back in there. Maybe I can just dab that off. That's okay. Okay, so not bad. This is kind of cute. I think you can add like a Christmas or holiday greeting on top if you like, but I thought this was a cute little tutorial. I can't believe it took 40 minutes, but let me know what you guys thought of this one. Don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and I will be sure to see you in the next one.